Good morning, everybody. This is Dwayne coming to you from the edge of nowhere, and it's an early August morning this morning. It's actually a little bit cool-ish for us. Is about all we get as far as cool. But today, actually, what we're doing is we're starting a series, and this is going to be our first series. This series is actually about creating our pasture. So what we wanted to do this morning is just kind of show you the beginnings. I started this a couple weeks ago, but we're going to kind of bring you up to speed as far as where we're at now. And then what you can do is you can actually follow us as we go through this process. So what we're doing is we're taking the center part of the back area of the yard and we're going to create a pasture. And the primary reason for this pasture is actually going to be our broiler chickens. So we'll be raising them as a truly free-range pasture-raised chicken. They're going to be in chicken tractors and more of that in the future. We'll talk about that more in the future. But what we're going to be doing first is establishing the pasture. So obviously we're here in the desert, in Whitman, in the Phoenix area. And so what we have is we have very, very hard dirt. We've talked about this in some of our prior episodes. So what I'm doing first is I need to break up this hard dirt, and we're actually kind of doing a little bit of a trial. So what you see behind me is you see our mulberry trees. Those are fruiting mulberry trees. We'll do another episode just on those. Our fruiting mulberry trees are a black Pakistan, at least that you see behind me, are a black Pakistan and a white Pakistan. The white Pakistan is on my right-hand side, and the black Pakistan is on my left-hand side. So those are fruiting mulberry trees. They're not the ones that give you allergies because they don't produce pollen, but they do produce fruit, and it is amazing. So that's what's in the background this morning. And what we're doing now is we're going to be dealing with this ground that's below me. So if Lori can pan down just a little bit, you're going to see a couple things. First of all, you're going to see our tiller. So we're not going to normally till. This is kind of a one-time deal. We bought an inexpensive tiller on Amazon. Probably a little too small for the area we're working on, but didn't want to do a huge investment on something we'll probably only use once. So otherwise I won't typically till. We won't till our garden beds. It's all no-till here. So, but we did need this because we needed to break up this ground. So what you see down here is just our regular ground. So this is just our hard pan ground. A lot of this, as you get down further, is caliche. Caliche is basically just this petrified dirt. So we'll have that down here. And so this is just our regular dirt. What you see behind me here is actually what I tilled a couple weeks ago. So just taking that inexpensive tiller, it was very, very easy for us to break up this ground. You'll see it's all just really dusty dirt, lots of rocks. But we're trying to get it to this so that we can at least get some seeds in the ground. So we'll be adding other amendments and things like that. We'll bring you along this as we go on this journey. You can go on the journey with us. But this is what we're going to start with today. What you'll also see behind me on the other side of this little block that I tilled is you're going to see a lot of wood chips. And those wood chips have actually been down on the ground now for almost a year. We put them down last October. So we don't have any water running to it. It's got natural water from the rains that we've gotten. We had a pretty good wet winter this winter. So they got a good amount of water. Otherwise, we don't irrigate it at all. So what we're doing there, it's kind of our trial. So we're going to take this, we're going to till up the raw dirt. We're going to get some pasture seeds that we've already purchased on this probably in another month or so. So we're going to test to see how the seeds do on just the raw ground that's been tilled with a little bit of mulch on top, and see how it does on ground that's been prepared with wood chips for a year. Don't plan, at least, on tilling any of that. But what we'll do is we'll take the seeds and we'll put the seeds directly on top, a little bit of mulch on top of that, and see how the seeds do on this side of the pasture versus on this side where it's just cultivated. So that's the plan. So again, just want to thank you for joining us. This one's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. Depending on how much of the tilling I can get done this morning, we may come back to you today so you get another look at what this freshly tilled ground, this freshly tilled desert ground is going to look like. Okay, everybody, so we're back. I just spent the last 3 hours or so just ruining my hands. But anyhow, we got the tiller, worked the tiller for the last 3 hours, and worked a good portion actually of the pasture. We have very little left, maybe another 10 yards that goes beyond me here just on the other side of where Lori's standing. But just wanted to give you an idea of what we've done this morning. So again, last 3 hours, we've just taken the tiller through this area here. I'll tell you what, that little tiller that we got on Amazon is amazing. It's an electric tiller, and it kind of beats you up a little bit, but man, it works hard. And this dirt is practically rock. So, I mean, it's just done a great job. So went through and we tilled this all up this morning. Like I said, got another 10 yards or so. and then we'll get to work on seeding this in about a month. So I want to let this sit. May work some compost or something into here too, because it's just completely dead. There's no biologic activity at all. So we want to get some of that back in there. But this will kind of give you a little bigger pan too of what was behind me this morning. If you want to take a peek at that. Again, our mulberry trees. I didn't mention we've got all of our berry beds back there. If you watched our fertilizing video, those were the berry beds we're working on. The last two are the berries that we did, and they're growing just amazing. That was just a couple weeks ago. So that's about it for today. Lori and I have some shopping to do. We're gonna stop at the Tractor Supply store and also one of the big box stores. We've got some stuff we're looking at now. Chicken coop, we're going to be building a brooder so we can get our chickens going, and also going to be shopping a little bit for what we're going to be doing for our hogs, because we'll have hogs here as well. That's kind of all of our fall plan. So, but this is the end of part one of turning our raw dirt and desert land into a pasture. I'm glad you joined us. Until next time, this is Dwayne and Lori saying goodbye from the edge of nowhere.